At ease, soldier. I am a general in the Roman legion, and we have recently occupied Great Britain. Now, my commander-in-chief, Hadrian, General Hadrian, he has determined that we need to protect this city from the invading Picts from the north and the south, and especially the south, because they are just making a mess of things. So he had us order to build a big great wall spanning from coast to coast over the entire island. This is Hadrian's wall we're building. Now suit up and get ready, because it's up to you to help him finish the job. Typical of Garphill games, who has also other games, they have one goal: to make the box identical, the size of it, for all their games. So they have a box and they need to fill a game into it. And that is also on the expense of space, because there is no space available in these boxes. The games are too big. So I made some inserts there, not that it matters, because everything is going to be a mess anyway. Some cardboard here, and then the rest, maybe a kilogram or 3 pounds maybe. So it's just 2 pads of paper, and when you look at it you think, oh wow, this looks so boring. Yeah, I'll be the first to admit it. It doesn't look very exciting. We're building a wall, and this brown grayish thing is what we're building on. So I'll also say it's very fun. So the game doesn't have one gigantic piece of paper to fill out, but 2 for each player. And yeah, you might think that you need doctors in Microsoft Excel to play this game, but that is not the case. Also, you don't need to know the history of Hadrian's Wall. I didn't myself until I played this game, or I actually learned about the game. And it's quite interesting. So that's fun about this hobby of ours. With games that has a historical background, we can learn something more new that we had no idea existed in the first place. So this thing here, how do we play it? Well, the setup is very easy. Take this board here, this is for each player. Oops, wrong way. Take 1 sheet of paper for each player, and just take the entire pad now. Oh, I'll flip this around here. This stack of cards has generals on it. I will pick the top one, which is black, and I'll choose the red one for neutral players. Shuffle those. And then it's the Picts, which are the rest here. Shuffle those. And I'm ready to play. Yeah, that's the setup. Very, very easy and fast. It's very surprising every time I pick it up, and well, we're ready. What? We're ready? What? Yeah. So I'm going to teach you just the basic principles of this sheet here, because believe it or not, most of the things here are actually quite self-explanatory. It's just icons that you have to recognize and look where they belong, and well, just look and it's fine. So I'm going to teach you how to look, and yeah, let me just show you how the game works. Here we have the game set up. This is my player board, my sheets, and this is the Picts, and this is my deck of generals, and this is the neutral player for solo playing. Otherwise this would just be another player. So how do we work? Well, each round we play for 6 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's finished. Each year we'll flip one here, and we ignore the top, just look at the bottom. We all get 2 black workers, warriors by the way, 3 blue workers, which are builders. We get 1 purple, which is, I think it's some priest something. Yellow, which are civilians, and we get our stone. Oh, not 2 yellows. Then we shuffle these decks here. Pick 2. These are my personal deck. And from here, I will now select which one I want the resources indicated on the lower left here, and which one I want to keep as a scoring. I have to choose. So right now I want the stone, so I put this here face down. Here face down, all players select, and then we flip. So here, just hide this fact here, and we get 1 yellow and 1 stone in addition. Also, I get 1 production down here, which is 1 stone. So we all get an extra stone per year. And now I'm ready to just move along and do my own stuff and ignore all other players. So I'm going to focus on this part here with the wall. The rules are quite simple. See here, all the white empty boxes are sections I can cross off. And when I do that, nothing happens. To just set the cross, I need to pay whatever's on the left here. So to set a mark here, not a cross, a mark, I had to pay a purple a worker. So I put a mark here. If I had another purple worker, I could pay him and set a mark here. Then I would get a hammer, which is here. Pay a hammer, get the one here. Also, I get a stone from the supply and I add it to my stuff. So I can just continue on like that and pay whatever is on the left and get rewards for what I mark off. And yeah, that's it. It's all the iconography. So right here we have the fort. They are within this small granary here, and you see there's a section dividing this part here. So I could mark this one off, mark here, by paying either a builder or a warrior. And here I will get a yellow worker again, and another yellow worker, and here we get a point in that, yeah, we get a layer. So we have these flags down here, which is just indication that I can unlock more powers right now. So if you look down here, you see the small hotel. The prerequisite is that I have a 2, I have the 2. I have to pay 1 blue and yet another purple worker and a stone. If I manage to do that, I will just mark it here. I also get a yellow worker at the same time, and so forth. So everything is very well defined. If I want to build past this line here, I would have to go here and pay 1 purple, 1 green and a stone to mark this one here, but only if I have at least the 1, which is the first thing here. So it's super simple, very easy to get into, and everything is so clear. But the entire purpose of the game, or the theme at least, is to build the wall. Now on the top here you have 3 sections, left, middle and right, and they will define how well you are defending against the Picts. At the end of each year we will draw a certain number of cards on this deck here, and it will indicate in what section they will attack in. This case it's right. But the further we go along, the more cards will be added to that attack, and they will... here we have 3 to the right, actually. Wow, 4. So they can really stack up. 5. Okay, I actually shuffled these cards. Oh, here we go. No, it's... of the 6 cards I drew, all the way to the right, and they should be spread out evenly. But shuffling, that's how the random works. So we have 6 attacks on the right, and of course you will try to mitigate by protecting certain areas, so you can really be defeated. So that's one way to look at it. You can have a Schadenfreude against the other players that had protected the wrong section of the wall, while you were in the right one. Well, at least this year. Next year is different. So, how does it work? Well, the game is super fun, at least playing alone, because you go like this, okay? I have this yellow worker here. Where can I use it? So you just look at the cost areas, okay? Okay, I can use the yellow here and here. Oh, if you use it here, you get a purple one, and then I can use the purple to get across here, or second mark. I just say cross because it's in Norwegian it's kryss. A section here. And then you get a hammer and a stone, and you can use that stone to do something else, and you have the ball rolling, and it's just set in your own little bubble, trying to figure it out and having fun, and totally ignoring that there are other players around the table. There is one more interaction without the Schadenfreude, and that is we have this number down here which indicates some goods you can trade, and you want to have different sets of numbers. So if you are looking at your neighbors, on your immediate neighbors, not the one across of you, and they see that they want a certain number, you can just choose not to give a number to them, but you don't know if the other players are doing the same, and it's really not that big of a deal. The same with these in the middle here, you can even use it yourself for scouting. And that's it, that's the interaction you get. And if they use your stuff, they will have to pay you a stone or a warrior, and you get that, and there's no more. There's really nothing else to it. So as a solo game, which it basically is anyway, it's a multiplayer solitaire game, you're sitting here just crossing out sections and having a blast, really. This is so much fun to see how it all connects, and you get bonuses which you didn't thought of earlier, and you can just look at the expense, and yeah, it's super awesome. So it reminds me of Guns on Sean Clever and other of the Wolfgang Marsch games. And this is a lot more satisfying than any of those games. And there's no dice. You have all the resources you need here. and you just spend them and gain more and spend those again and gain more, and you want to spend as much as you can each year, because if you don't spend it, they go away. It's just pretty awesome. And each of these books here have 200 sheets of paper, so if you play alone, you can actually play 200 times, which is pretty much, I would say. But if you run out, you can just laminate this last 6 anyway. So you could, in theory, play 100 players with this, as long as they have enough resources. I haven't seen the reason to play more than myself, really. I have played it more, but I don't think I will ever again, because alone, the setup is super fast, and I'm having a blast. I don't care about other players anyway. So to play with other players is just to compare the score, I guess, and see who won. That's not so fun. Is it? Maybe. Anyway, I love this game as a solo game anyway. So high recommendation for a solitaire game. More than one player, yeah, it's up to you, I guess. I just will play this solo. I don't think I will ever take it out again with more players. It's no point. I'm just gonna focus on myself anyway. To conclude, this game is a blast to play by yourself. Okay, honestly, I don't really see the benefit of playing this game with multiple players, because you're in your own bubble. There's very little you can do to impact the other players. There's only the scout field, the scout shape, and the goods that you can sell out there, and they can give you resources based on those. I don't see the value of that. So take Gunshot and Clever for instance. It's a dice game with the same thing. You get a mark, and you can combo those marks and get more and stuff, and it's fine. And then at least you can pick the dice you don't want the other players to select from. And it's just a tiny bit more interaction than this, but I really wouldn't compare it anyway. This game is a lot more heavy, based on you have to be familiar with the setup. Though the first time you play it, it's just a big old experiment, and the next time you have a bit of a better feeling of how these sections work together, and it's beautiful. But to play with more players, I don't see the real point there. I honestly don't. Also with more players, these resources here, I think they will run out. I mean, if I as a player has managed to get 6 yellow pieces by myself, and the next player next to me also has that, because he is going the same route. Now suddenly there's only like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 left-ish. And the game supports up to 6 players. I mean, theoretically we can all have this amount of workers here, and we will run out. So yeah, I think that the designers behind this game thought, okay, we can make more of these decks here, we can fit it in the box, and then we can have more players. But I'm sure they thought they could, but should they? Anyway, this game is a blast as a solo player game, and I really don't see any reason to pick this out with more players, because you're stuck in your little bubble having a blast, and then you have to wait for whoever player is the slowest, and that is boring. And imagine you're excited and watching your great combo explode, taking all those marks here and there and getting all those bonuses, and oh yeah, you feel so great, and then you run out. Okay, how's everyone else doing? And you just look at this one person or two that's and you see he has everything left. He hasn't even begun to spend his resources. He's just looking, planning. Oh, it's so frustrating. So why bother? Solitaire, awesome game. If you prefer with more players, I probably wouldn't recommend this game, but it's hard to recommend a similar game that has multiplayer. Maybe something more easy like Avenue, or what's it called, the Cartographer. That might work better. At least there you have some interaction with the monsters that you attack with, and you send your sheet to the next player and they mark off the monster and send it back to you. But that's not so much anyway, but it's a faster game. This one I play alone in 30 minutes, but with more players it's up to the slowest one. But okay, I'm rambling. This is a great game for playing by yourself. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I have given you an impression of the game and if it's for you or not. And if you totally disagree with me, just enter in the comments here when you say why this is the greatest multiplayer game there is and why it's for awful solitaire, for instance. But anyway, I hope you click the like button and the subscribe and at least the small bell icon next to it, because since my rate of uploading videos is so sparse and random, at least you get a notification on the next video if you care to see that. I hope you do. And if not, I hope you will comment, and why not? Anyway, thanks again for watching. I see you in the next one, I hope. Cheers.